What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, but most importantly, welcome to the first video in the CCNA series. In this video, we're going to talk about the physical equipment that I'm going to use to get ready for my CCNA exam. The physical equipment, or the physical lab I should call it, is one aspect of it. I'm also going to use things like Cisco Packet Tracer to become familiar with that as well. But I also wanted to use physical equipment to be able to get my hands on the physical equipment, be able to feel the physical equipment, be able to kind of know what a Cisco router look like, know what a Cisco switch look like, be able to get in there inside a switch and open it up and see what is inside, and be able to play around with it and really get a good understanding of the Cisco equipment. I really wanted to do that, and that's why I decided to get a lab. But you do not need to get, that's why I decided to get a physical, the physical equipment, but you do not need to get a physical equipment at all for the CCNA if you do not want to do that. I'm just a little bit different. I like hands-on experience. I like getting into extensive lab in all of the exams that I take, and this one is not going to be any different. But you're going to hear me echo that throughout this video. You do not need the physical equipment to get ready for the CCNA exam, but if you do, this is the physical equipment that I'm going to use, and you're welcome to follow along if you want to. Another thing as well, if you're new to Cisco, no worries, relax. I'm also new to Cisco as well, so we're going to figure a lot of things out together. We're going to learn and we're going to grow together. So if you're new to Cisco, no worries. This is a beginner-friendly series. We're going to go from the beginning all the way to wherever the CCNA takes us. So let's go ahead and let's get the video started. I work hard each and every day. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at everything that came in the box. We're going to break it down and we're going to talk about each one. I'm not going to go into much detail about each one because throughout the series you're going to see me play around with these a lot. I'm going to probably open one of them so we can take a look at it. So you're going to see a whole bunch of these in the channel throughout the CCNA series. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about each one. This is just a broad overview of the equipment that came in the box, so you can know what you're getting if you decided to buy something like this. So one more thing that I want to say, I am also new to Cisco. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to leave a comment in the comment box below. I'll try my very best to answer it for you guys. If I cannot answer it, I'm pretty sure someone will be happy to help as well. So just keep that in mind. One more last thing to keep in mind before we get started. These are not brand new equipment. So I don't want you to have the expectation that you're going to get brand new equipment out of the box. These are used equipment. As a matter of fact, these are pretty old. Routers. Cisco doesn't even support these routers anymore, but they're pretty good for lab environment for you to start labbing and getting used to physical equipment as well as the CLI. And see how it feels when you're connected to a physical equipment or physical router or switch. So the expectation is not to open the box and see. I was pretty excited when I opened the box, by the way. But the expectation is not to open the box and see brand new equipment. They are used equipment, they are old equipment, but they're in pretty good condition for you to set up a good lab. So we're going to start from here and then walk our way over there. So starting from here, we have 3 switches. We have the Cisco 2800 series. I think these are 2811. I'm not sure. We're going to take a look at it at the back there to be able to tell which ones it is. So you have 3 of these switches right here. Starting from here, moving our way over there, you have the power port here. You have the on and on switch here, the on and off switch here to turn it off and on. Moving to the side, on this side right here, let's see what it says. Redundant power supply connection only. It seems like there's some sort of like empty space here. I'm assuming you can peel that for extra power supply if you need some sort of redundant power supply, just in case, I don't know, the power goes off and you have it connected to another APC or whatever it is that you're using as a backup power in your environment. Here you have a console cable, and then you have an aux cable for I can never say that word right. You have an aux cable for remote management. You have 2 USB ports here, and then on here you have a compact flash. I'm assuming, again, I'm pretty new to Cisco, so I'm assuming this is for some sort of like flash memory if you need to store something from the router or need to transfer something over to another router. I'm assuming, I'm not 100% sure. Still learning a lot about Cisco and Cisco switches and routers and things like that. So as far as the front of it go, they're pretty much the same series. So as far as the front, well, I don't even know if this is the front, but it looks pretty, so I'm assuming this is the front of it. So as far as the front of the router go, that's pretty much all you get for it. It's pretty nice. They're pretty heavy. Actually very heavy equipment. So before we even talk about this guy right here, I'm gonna flip it around so we can take a look at the back. So let me go ahead and do that. It's so hard to be a one-man team. It's very hard. On the back here, you have what looks like expansion slot. So I'm assuming you can set up some more stuff here if you want to. Over here, you have two Ethernet ports. These are the Ethernet port that you will use to connect to your switch. One of which says FE Fast Ethernet 0/1, and this other one says Fast Ethernet 0/0. So it's pretty much the same because they're all pretty much the same kind of routers. So if we go up close, 2811. So these are the Cisco 2811. They're all 2811. So as far as the back of the router go, that's pretty much all you get for it. Again, guys, I'm giving you guys a quick overview of the router themselves. Eventually, we're going to open these. We're going to play around with them. We're going to do a whole bunch of things with these routers. But for now, I just kind of want to tell you guys what came in the package so you guys can have a better understanding if you're thinking about getting this package. Now moving on to, before we talk about this, moving on to the switches over here, you have two 48 port switches. I'm pretty sure they're both the same. You have 2960 and 2960. You have 20, nothing fancy here. You have the lights here. I'm assuming once you connect it, you're gonna start seeing like system and all this other stuff that are there. You're gonna start seeing the lights over there. 48 ports, as I said, and then you have two Ethernet port here. I'm assuming these are for crossover cable if you want to connect two switches together. So just like so over here and over here using a crossover cable. Because you use crossover cable to connect like devices, right? So on the bottom, this one is a 24 port switch. You have two ports here, true transceiver ports here, and then you have your 24 port switch here. So as far as the switch go, that's pretty much all there is to it here. I'm gonna flip this around so we can take a look at the back. Again, being a one-man team, it's a bit hard for me, but bear with me, guys. I'm trying to give you guys the raw footage. So let's go ahead and flip that around. So this is the first one. So you have the console port here to connect to the console and be able to make changes. But if it's already connected to the network, then you can SSH into it. But before that, you can use your console port here to connect and get into the CLI. You have what looks like a power supply here. So a power port here. I'm not exactly sure what this is for yet, but it looks like a power port. You also have the standard power port here to connect and boot up the machine to be able to go and start using it. One of the things that I noticed though is that there's no on and off switch like there is on a router. You can see on the switches they don't have any sort of on and on switch. So once you connect it, it's up and running. If you want to turn it off, you might have to fully disconnect it again. At the bottom one was a different one. So let's see. From here you have the power, and then over here it seems like you have another power as well, similar to what you have up here. Moving here, you have the console port here to be able to connect to the console and be able to make changes using the CLI if the switch is not connected to the internet yet. So you'll be able to make changes before you connect it. You have stack 2 and stack 1. I'm assuming this is used to stack another switch, so you can use a stack cable. I think that's what they call. If I'm wrong, correct me, leave a comment in the comment box below. But you can use a stack cable to be able to stack different switches and be able to use several switches. So as far as the back go, that's pretty much all you get for it. Again, I'm trying to keep the video short, guys, so I'm kind of running through it. Eventually you're gonna see a whole bunch of these switches throughout the CCNA series. You're gonna see me play around with them. You're gonna see me kind of open them, look inside to get a full understanding of them, because as I said, it's not just about passing exams for me. It's about getting the hands-on and be able to fully understand what I'm doing. So yeah, definitely you're going to see a lot of this. Now moving to this guy, I decided to get the wireless kit. You don't necessarily have to get this. It's something that doesn't come included, something that you have to pay for. It's a bit extra. I decided to get it because I wanted to get a little bit of hands-on on the wireless part of Cisco. So I decided to get this guy. So on the back you have the console port there, and then of course you have the Ethernet port, and you have the power on the side here. And it came with a power plug, obviously, because how else are you gonna connect power to it? So I'm pretty excited about this, to be able to get that kind of Wi-Fi experience as well. I'm very familiar with Ubiquiti because I've set those up a lot, but I also want to get familiar with this the Cisco Wi-Fi as well, or Wi-Fi kit as well, and be able to play around with it and be able to see how it works and how to set it up, just in case I go to a job and they say, hey, are you familiar with this? I'll be happy to say yes, I'm familiar with it. I've labbed and I've played around with it a lot. Moving on to the side, these are kind of the cable that came in the box. So you have a console cable here. This is where, if we go back, I don't want to flip it around again, but in the back you will see where it says console. This is where you will connect. Maybe we could just look over here. So this is where you will connect it, of course, to be able to access the CLI if it's not connected to the internet. So you have three cables. Is it three cables each? So you have a crossover cable, and then you have a straight through cable. I'm using one of them actually, so there's only two here, but in total it was 6 in the box. So you have 3 of each, 3 straight through and 3 crossover. So that's what came in the box. You also have this guy right here. This was pretty cool. So I'm a big fan of this kind of documentation, where you kind of break down some of the concept that you have to understand, and you break them down into smaller pieces. If you want to just kind of like, hey, I need to understand this, like subnetting and all the other things that you need to understand. They create a poster and they just kind of break those concepts down, so it's easier for you to kind of digest and be able to understand some of those concepts. So it's pretty cool. These are things that you can find online anyways, but it's pretty nice for them to include it. And I like things like this. They're pretty nice. So really nice. I'm just gonna scroll through it. It's really nice. So if you're a really hardcore Cisco fan, you can hang this up in your room, so when people come to your house, you can be like, yep, that's where it is. But yeah, it's pretty cool for them to include that came in the box. So I'm gonna put that aside there. So moving on, there are 2 CDs. I don't know why they didn't just use a USB instead of a CD, because nobody use a CD anymore. But there's 2 CDs in there. You have the iOS backup. This is the Cisco iOS, of course. There's a backup for it. It's pretty nice for them to include a backup, just in case something goes wrong or you need to do something else. You'll be able to use this as a backup. And this one, there's study tools and ebook. What I found about this one is that most of the tools and equipments that are in here are pretty outdated. I'm not sure if it's because it's what they have set up for the lab, but even the videos that are in there are pretty old. But I didn't buy the video course, because there's a video course that comes with that can come with this if you were to pay for it, but I didn't buy it. The ebook is in there as well, but for the most part, the tools that are in there are somewhat outdated. But again, that could be the reason could be because that's what's needed to do the lab. Again, these are not. I want to kind of reiterate that a little bit. These are not really like top of the line equipment. These are pretty old equipment that Cisco doesn't even support anymore. But again, these are really good to get your hands on, practice on the things that you need to practice to be able to become good at what you do, right? And then once you become used to something like this, if you go into a production environment, to be able to say, oh yeah, of course, I'm familiar with a switch. I've seen what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what's inside of it. I kind of have a familiarity with the equipment themselves. So one of the things that I also want to talk about is the mount. So if you notice, there's a mount here. This doesn't come included. You have to buy the mounting kit. Can't see anything. You have to buy the mounting kit with it to be able to mount it. It's something that comes on the side. You don't have to include it if you don't want to, if you already have some laying around, but you have to buy it to be able to mount it. It did came with a bunch of screws as well, so it gives you everything that you need to be able to mount it. The the router and the switch to your rack, right? And also, if you do want to buy a rack, that's included. Like I showed you guys, that's included on it as well. That's included on the website as well, and you can add it. It'll be extra cost, but it's included there as well. So as far as what comes in the box, as far as what they have set up so that you'll be able to do the lab, these are what came in the box. Okay guys, so we've taken a detailed look at everything that comes in the box. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the website, and we're going to talk about why I decided to go with this website, and also we're going to look at the software that comes with this kit to download the PDF documents that comes with it. So the lab, the book, the practice test, and the subnet book, I think includes the subnet book as well. So we're going to talk about all of that, and most importantly, we're going to talk about why I decided to go with this website. So let's go ahead and go to the second part of the video. Okay, so we're going to talk about the website that I get this equipment from. The website is called certificationkits.com. Now, I'm not endorsing this website in any way, shape, or form, so please make sure you do your own research before you decide to buy. Understand what you're buying, read about it, do what you need to do to understand it. This is just the website that I decided to go with after doing a little bit of research on things. But you're welcome to do your own research before buying. So please do your own research before buying anything from this website. But this is the website that I got it from. It's a pretty good website. They have a lot of things that they sell. So if we go to Lab Kit, for example, let's go back there for 1 minute here. If we go to Lab Kit, you can see it divided into different places. So CCNA Lab Kit, CCNA base lab kit, CCNA security kit, CCNA voice kit, so CCNP and CCIA lab. So it breaks it down into different part. And the reason why I decided to go with this website, you can go to someone like eBay, for example, and type in CCNA and see a whole bunch of stuff. Then you can put it together for a cheaper price. Yes, obviously you can do that. But the reason why I don't do why I did not do that is because, as I say, I'm new to Cisco. I just don't want to spend too much time putting things together. I wanted something that was a bit structured, like I said in the intro. I wanted something that was very structured, that I would get it and then start getting into the labs and start learning. And as time goes on, and as I learn, and as time goes on, and as I start learning more about Cisco, I can start buying things like individually and putting them together and building a much more complex lab if I need to. But for now, I just needed something that was already put together, that have some sort of lab to go with it, that have some sort of documentation, that just have something already structured, because I learn better when I'm in a structured environment. It doesn't necessarily have to be a school or anything like that, but something that has a structure, whether it's a video course, whether it's a book, whatever it is, as long as it's structured, I learn better that way. So that's why I decided to go that route. But again, I wanted to highlight that you can just get a lot of this equipment for cheap and be able to put them together yourself. So you don't necessarily need to buy it from the site. That's why I say do your own research before going into it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the kit that I got. So if you go into CCNA Lab Kit and we scroll up, you're going to see that it has like different CCNA Lab Kit here. It has different type, and you can adjust it to name, and you can adjust it to price or whatever you want to do. So the one that I decided to go with, and you have different price range as well, right? You have a lot of different price range here. The one that I decided to go with was this guy right here. This is the Cisco CCNA 200301 Premier Kit. So let's go ahead and click on that. This is the one that I decided to go with. One of the things that I like about the website is that if you scroll a little bit down, they have a detailed breakdown. I mean, they've written a whole essay for crying out loud to break down what you're getting in your lab kit. Literally a whole essay to break down what you're getting on your lab kit. So make sure you do not skip it. Make sure you read through it. Make sure you understand the exam that you're taking, and make sure you understand what you're getting. And they've done a great job at breaking down everything that's included, the hardware, the additional software, the bug, everything that you're getting in the kit. They've written it down for you, and they've breaking it down piece by piece. So please make sure you read carefully and do your research before you spend your money on it, because these things are not cheap, right? Even if you were to go buy it here, you will still need to put some a little bit of money into it. So please make sure you do some research on things, right? So if we come over here, we'll notice that this is the kit that I got. So if we go through it, it tells you what comes in it. It has a picture of what comes in it. So these are the things that come in it. You have ebook for desktop and mobile compatibility. It has like different things that it tells you that come with it. Practice exam, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. And it has a whole bunch of other stuff that comes with it as well. This is the stuff that I showed you guys earlier. As you can see, this is the documentation. I kind of break down things for you to make it easier to remember. So if you scroll down, you click on that, it also tells you that it comes with like 3 crossover cable and 3 straight through cable. It has a bunch of stuff that it comes with here as well. And if you click on the next picture, same thing, it tells you everything that comes with it. As you go down here, you have more option. So if you want to choose like a transceiver, for example, I showed you guys earlier, you can select something like this or select something like that. Again, guys, I want to reiterate it. You do not have to buy it from this website, right? You can get out of this website and go look for it for a cheaper price, right? Again, the reason why I got it is because I like structure, and this was structure for me. I don't want to waste time trying to put things together when I don't fully understand it yet. I want to spend my time understanding it, labbing it, and doing the things that I need to do. And then I come back and then rebuild if I need to, right? So I can sell this equipment if I need to and get a little bit of money out of them and then rebuild my lab again and build it into something better. But for now, I just wanted to get in there and do the lab. So you can add this here if you want to. I did not. The option that I have, I did not add this. You can also do rack mount kit only, which is what I got. I did get the rack mount kit, but you can do different things here. You can get the deluxe rack if you want to. I already have a rack, so I didn't need to buy a rack. So all I got was this guy right here. And they have serial cords and cable bundle. You can choose that if you want. I did not. So, but you can look into it and see if it's something that you want and you can add into it. But just know that the more you add, the more money you pay, right? So it was none. And it gives you special things here like the DVD training. I didn't feel like I needed a DVD because, of course, I have a whole bunch of video training, IT Pro TV, Udemy, that I'm going to use for the exam. So I didn't necessarily need the video training. I didn't get any of this right here. So you can look into that and then try to see if that's something that you want. Optional wireless access point, I did get that. This is the stuff that you guys saw that I showed you guys earlier. So I wanted to play around with the wireless access points and be able to understand it as well. So that's why I included that in the extra stuff that I got. So I included that as well. So the cancel cable, optional, I did include the cancel cable. I did include the cancel cable, but I also got one. Again, you can get it for cheap. You don't necessarily need to get it from here. I just want to keep reminding everybody that, right? I didn't get this, by the way. So, but you can get it for cheap. You don't have to buy it from here. The reason why I got it is because their structure. I'm going to keep saying that, sound like a broken record, but I just want you guys to understand that, and it makes my life a lot more easier. This one allows you to print. These guys are pretty intense when it comes to the documentation. It is very secure because they don't want people just printing it or people just using it. I'm talking about very secure. I'll show you guys in a minute. So I did choose this option to be able to do a one-time print if I needed to, but you don't necessarily need to, right? But I did choose it just in case I need to have a physical copy and be able to highlight things and stuff like that. Here's the warranty. I did not choose a warranty, but you can choose a lifetime warranty. So I'm assuming that with lifetime warranty, if something is broken or something doesn't work for a couple of years, you can always return it and try to get another one. But I just went with the 1-year warranty because honestly, I'm going to do the lab. I'm going to work on it. And if it breaks, I'm just going to get something better as I become more and more experienced in Cisco. So these are all the things that I got for my stuff. So as you can see, extremely expensive, right? So this is why I said in the beginning that you do not need a physical lab. You do not need to get it from this website. You do not need anything to have to do with physical lab. We're going to talk about the software that I'm going to use, which is pretty much the Cisco Packet Tracer. I'm going to use that as well, just so I can become familiar with it. But you do not need a physical lab at all. The reason why I am pretty adamant about getting a physical lab is because I want to get hands-on as much as I possibly can, right? I am all about hands-on when I take an exam. And I also set a budget for myself every year for education, for educating myself. And I do not shy away from spending that money when it comes to educating myself at all. I do not shy away from it at all. So that's very important to me. So that's why I was willing to spend the money, because it's in my budget, and it allows me to be able to educate myself and be able to become better at what I do. So as far as what I get, that's pretty much all the things that I get, and that's what was included in the stuff that I just showed you guys. So again, this is where I got my stuff from. These guys are pretty cool. I had to email them a couple of times because I was having a bit of an issue with the software, which was on my end, not on their end, but they were pretty fast to respond. They were very helpful. It was just a breeze working with them. The equipment, everything that they say was going to be included came in the box. It was very fun opening the box. So they're very professional in terms of like email communication. I didn't call them on the phone or anything. In terms of email communication, they're very professional. Again, do your own research, guys, please. But I liked them, and it's just a structured place for me to get started on my CCNA. So this is the website. They have a whole bunch of other things that they sell. So if you want to look into that, look into that. But I just kind of went with the whole set. So they have a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're looking for something else, you can always look around and try to see if you can buy it here. And they even sell servers. I didn't even know that they sell servers. So they sell servers as well, if you want to look into that. I just paid attention to the CCNA part. So it looks like they sell servers as well. So they sell a whole bunch of stuff if you want to play around. So now let's talk about the software that they use to download their documents, right? So this software, once you purchase once you place your order and you purchase the stuff, you're going to receive an email. And the email is going to point you to the software that you need to download, which is this guy right here. This basically allows you to be able to view their document, right? If you don't have this, you're not going to be able to open the documents. And I'm assuming they're doing it this way because they don't want people copying the documents. They don't want to see their documents out there with people sharing it. These things take a lot of money and a lot of effort to put together. So I can understand why they're taking all those precautions to make sure that nobody can go and try to steal their work and throw it out there in the internet and people can download it for free, right? It's a lot of work to put these things together, so I can see why. So they're going to send you this link. You can download if you have a Mac, you can choose Mac. If you have Android, whatever you have, iOS, which is Apple, you can choose that. So you can use it on your mobile, and then you can click download and you're going to download it. Once you download it, let me minimize this. They're also going to send you the documentation. These are the documentation right here. You want to kind of have those documentation in one folder just so it stay organized. Each one of those documentation, you cannot open them. It's a PDF document, but you cannot open them with anything other than the software that they told you to download. So once you do that, you're going to download and run the software, pretty straightforward. And then you're going to click on register. They're going to give you the license key, and then you're going to highlight the license key. I've already registered, so it's going to fail. And then you're going to click on OK. And then it's going to go through the process, and it's going to tell you that it has successfully been registered. I'm already registered on another device, my CCNA lab, my CCNA lab computer. So it's not going to work here. And then once you do that, you'll be able to use the software and open the documents. But without this software, you're not going to be able to open the document. That's something to just keep in mind. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to RDP into my CCNA computer. RDP into my CCNA lab computer. I'm going to open it up here, and I'm going to do this here. So this is my CCNA lab computer here. I RDP into it. So I'm going to go ahead and open the software, and I'm not going to open the document. Actually, there's something else I want to show you guys as well, but I'm also not going to open the document because they're pretty strict. It seems like they're pretty strict about how you access their documents. They want to be secure about it, and I don't want to be that guy that kind of put their information out there. So I want to be careful with that because, again, as I said, it takes a lot of work to put these things together, and I want to respect that, right? So I'm not going to open the document. But once you have everything set up, you're going to click on open document here. You're going to select one of these documents or whatever document that you want to open. Once you select it, you're going to click open, and the documentation is going to open, and you're going to be able to read it. The lab is pretty detailed. I've gone through the lab already. I haven't done it yet, but I've gone through it like a quick glance. It's pretty detailed. They also give you, let me just click on that. They give you the lab, so the boot camp and theory, book B. So this is pretty cool. So if you just want to use this to just get ready for it, and this is why I decided to go with them as well, because they're pretty structured. So if you just want to use this to just study for your CCNA, I mean, that's pretty much all you need. They have the book, they have the lab, coupled with a video series, you should be good. They have the practice tests, and they even have a book that talks about subnetting, which is also pretty cool. I've kind of glance through it. It's pretty long. All of them are pretty long. So I'm pretty sure if you go through all of this, you couple it with a video series and you go through the lab, you should be good to go. And again, I'm going to repeat it one more time. This is why I decided to go with them, because their structure. One of the problems that I've seen is that if you want to get started in something and you don't have some sort of a structure path, my African accent is all over the place today. You don't have some sort of a structure path, you're going to fall off. At least for me, you're going to start drifting away, and then you have to take a lot of discipline to bring you back, which for me, I'm a disciplined person, so it's easy for me to come back. But for most people, it's like, man, I just don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. And that's where the problem is. You want to make it easier for yourself to not be disciplined, if that makes sense, right? So you want to put everything in place that allows you to be very disciplined, right? And this structure is what I was looking for, and that's why I decided to spend the money to be able to have something that's already structured that just make my life a lot more easier. And this guy is a pretty structure. You can go buy a bunch of CCNA equipment on the eBay, like I show you guys, or anywhere else. But if they're not structured, it's easy for you to fall off. I just like that structure, and that's why I decided to go with them. But yeah, you can open any one of those documents as long as you have the software installed and you've uploaded your license. They're going to send you all of that information once you purchase the equipment. Right? And then you should be able to open them. You should be able to read. You should be able to do the things that you need to do. One of the things that I wanted to show you guys is that I RDP into a lot of my computers because I have like I run different operating systems. So I always RDP into things. But if you RDP and try to use this is how secure this thing is, right? It doesn't let you, because it's thinking that it's a thin client. So it's telling you that you're using a thin client, which is basically what that says, right? It's like you're using a thin client to try to access it, right? Even though you're RDPing, the computer is on and you are just RDPing into it, it doesn't let you, right? That's pretty secure. So let's say, for example, I try to access this, it's going to tell me that it's not going to work. And if you receive this error, you need to not RDP into that device and try to access that document locally. So you need to go to the computer itself that you're using and try to access it. I just wanted to show you guys this. That's why I decided to RDP into it. So make sure you're aware of that. It doesn't allow you to use a thin client. You have to physically log into the computer and be able to access it. It's pretty secure. And that's why I'm not going to open it, because I want to respect their privacy. I want to respect the work that they've put in. I know how hard it is to create things, so I don't want anybody to copy them. I don't even want to glance it. But just know that they're pretty good. Again, do your own research before you invest in them, but just know that the documentation and things that they've provided is pretty good. So as far as the documentation and where I got it from, that's pretty much it, guys. The website is here. It's called certificationkits.com. They sell a whole bunch of other things as well, so you can always check them out. Thank you for watching the video, guys. We're at the end of the video. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video. I know that my videos can be a little bit long sometimes, but I want to always make sure I give you guys the whole picture. I want to reiterate this fact one more time, that you do not need a physical equipment to get ready for the CCNA exam. I just wanted a physical equipment, like I've said several times, because I wanted to be able to lab on a physical equipment. When I go take these exams, I don't just try to cram and then memorize everything and then try to take it. I try to understand the concept. I try to lab as much as I can, because that will help me a lot. Not only if I'm at work and I'm trying to do something, but also if I'm trying to take a more advanced certificate. It always helps when you have a good understanding of the base certificate, when you have a good understanding of the things that you're learning, because that will help your growth. And that's why it's important to me to get things like the physical equipment, to be able to touch them, to be able to see what's inside, to be able to open, to be able to play around with it, so I can get a really good understanding of the Cisco equipment, right? Because you never know where life is going to take you. you never know what life is going to bring. Life is like a box of chocolate. Yeah, so you always have to be ready. So that's why it's very important for me, all joke aside, that's why it's very important for me to be able to have this physical equipment, so I can really get my hands dirty and be able to understand the concept that I need to understand to pass the exam. It helps a lot. Labs, I cannot stress that enough. Labbing and not just cramming and memorizing and going to take an exam helps a lot to really help you get a full understanding of the concept. And that's why I'm very, very obsessed with lab. obsessed with labs. You got a lab, man. It's a must, and that's why I don't try to take a shortcut and try to do everything that I can do before going to go take the exam. Again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking around. If you've enjoyed this video, there's more videos that is going to be coming in this series. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your notification, and if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button as well. In a coming video, I'm going to talk about the Cisco packet tracer. I'm going to talk about how I'm going to use that to do some labs as well, some more labs as well. So there's a whole bunch of video series that's going to be coming out. This video was specifically for the physical equipment that I'm going to use. Next video is going to talk about things like the Cisco packet tracer, and I'm going to use that to do some more labs. Again, thank you guys for watching. The website that I talked about here, please make sure you do your own research. Look into it first and see if it's something that you want to buy. I got it from there and I love them. As I said, I love using them, but make sure you do a little bit of research yourself as well to make sure it's something that you want to get involved in. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. And as always, don't forget to stay geeking. Peace.